May I remind you that trading is risky and not suitable for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Welcome to QuantBox Daily. Today is March 21st. Sure. Almost the end of March. Time is flying, friends. That's the first quarter of the year almost done and dusted. I hope that you're implementing things into your trade that are helping you become better than last year, and that these 3 months have not just been the same as last year's 3 months and last year's 12 months and the previous years, etc., etc. So the question is, what are you doing differently in your trading? What are you doing to help you identify a bias? If you're using a tool like QuantBox, top notch, high five, well done. Because QuantBox is a tool that's going to add immense value to your trading. Why? Because it gives you a fundamental bias. This is QuantBox. It's beautiful. It collates a whole bunch of information that's otherwise difficult to grab and expensive to grab from a number of different providers. It puts all that information into a dashboard for you that gives you a fundamental bias. All you then have to do is identify the opportunity to trade that bias in the markets using technical analysis, and you are A4 away. If you'd like to try QuantBox, a 1-week trial is just $7.90. Here the dashboard is. It's beautiful. Look at it. It's lovely. As you can see on the dashboard tab, we've got top buys, top sells. And remember, when it says top buys, top sells, we're talking fundamentals here, friends. We're talking about the most fundamentally bullish pairs, the most fundamentally bearish pairs. And I'll show you how that's calculated in a moment. And you can see here we've got seasonality, currency strength chart, indices strength chart, strongest trend, COT data, retail sentiment. This stuff over here is absolute gold. COT data, commitment of traders data, is actual positions that traders for profit have in the market. Investment traders, institutional traders. Okay, very powerful stuff. If they're long something, and there's fundamental data to back that, then you can see why you'd want to be long something, but you've got to use technical analysis as well, okay? You can see here's a score chart summary. These are all the bullish pairs and bearish pairs. We're going to use this today. As you can see, we got a lot of sells and strong sells, very few buys, and a ton of neutral, okay? We stay away from the neutral. This is nice because what this means is I'm not opening my chart and looking at any old pair. I'm looking over here and saying, okay, I'm going to ignore all the neutral stuff because currently neutral is strong versus strong or weak versus weak. Leave all that stuff alone. Let's look at USD CAD, USD ZAR. Okay, we'll leave gold alone as well, but we can look at gold, I suppose. So USD CAD, let's take a look at USD CAD. So here's USD CAD. All right, so USD CAD from a daily perspective, currently a buy fundamentally. Technically, though, I'm not a massive fan. You're currently sitting at a daily 21 EMA, okay? I don't like the lower high over here. You can see price came down to support, failed to make a higher high. Price, after making a lower high, has now come down to the 21 EMA. If you're buying at the 21 EMA, it's because you're looking to buy a higher low. How can a higher low be produced by a lower high? Think about that. Higher highs produce higher lows. If this higher high produced this higher low, which failed to produce this higher high, this is a lower high, how can this be a higher low? Okay, that's your first point of warning. You're like, okay, that's very strange. Why am I buying this after this is formed? However, you can move down to the next time frame and say to yourself, right, oh, look at that. I got a 2155 cross in a 4-hour time frame. This time frame is not saying the same thing as this time frame. Okay, that's a problem for you as well. But if you are absolutely insistent, like, hold on a second, I'm in an area where I want to buy, and I insist on the fact that I want to buy here. Well, the problem is this candle here is not at support. This is the last candle to close before London. Not currently at support. But let's just say you ignored all this as well. If your M15 time frame shows you higher highs, then you go to the next time frame. So right now you can see here on M15, you currently got price sitting at a 15-minute 21. Let's get rid of these zones quickly. Okay, you got price sitting at a 21 EMA. So what do? Well, you go down the line. So you can say, okay, well, again, H4 is not bullish. So you got like potentially bullish daily, not bullish H4. I would stop there and say, okay, next chart. But let's just continue. Just have a look and see. Does this catch your mistake? So you can see M15. All right, great. I've got price coming down to 21 EMA. I broke the support though. That's quite weird. Okay, broke that support. Not great. Would love to have closed that support. Let's take a look at M5. What is M5 saying? Ooh, M5 doesn't say bullish at all. Okay, price has now come down broken below this rest of the support and is below the moving averages. Now, the moving averages haven't crossed bearishly, but we certainly, look at how price came down to 21 EMA, come down to the support and failed to continue going up. That's a warning sign for you. M1, oh, M1, bearish. So you can see how the only time frames that are speaking bullishness would be M15 and daily. That's not enough. If this is bullish, it'll say so across the time frames. Wonderful. We can leave USD CAD alone. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'll look for something else elsewhere. Strong buy USD ZAR. Let's take a look. USD ZAR. Daily. Okay. Currently top of the range. We've broken out top of the range. Okay. Now you might find, you can see here, price makes its higher high, price comes down, price makes its lower high, and then the market buys off the 21 EMA. Okay. But your choice is to be consistent, consistent in your behavior, not inconsistent in line with the market. Because the problem is, this might have worked right now, but let's take a look and see, did you actually get a higher high, higher low of anything else yesterday? Let's take a look. You can see here yesterday, no higher lows. Okay, but at least the 21 is above the 55. So at least from that perspective, you have got bullishness. M15 yesterday, let's get rid of the market open zones. Okay, yesterday, let's take a look and see we're looking at 14th. Actually a couple of days ago, all the way down here. Notice how you never got a higher low of any of this. Prices shot up and continue going up. I'm not a fan of that. Where's my higher low? Where's price pulling back to support? Okay. I'm not a fan of that. Also buying top of the range, not a fan of that. Okay. So for USD ZAR, I'm going to leave this alone as well. What's nice to know is that you aren't closing your trade yet. If you bought down here, you're still in that run, okay? And you'd use combination of fundamentals and technicals. Technicals, no lower low, lower high. Fundamentals, still bullish, okay? But nothing to do with that today. Let's look at gold for a second. Okay, cool. Let's take a look at gold. We haven't looked at gold before on this channel. Let's take a look at gold. I'm just going to quickly shift some things up here. Give me a moment. Oh, okay. Instantly you see a problem. It's a buy, but you're currently at a monthly profit taking zone. Nothing you can do there. So you move on. And now the beautiful thing is, look how much time has been saved. I'm now going to skip all the neutrals and go straight down to the sells. Okay, so we got sells in the yens. Now, what I can do here is, seeing as I'm going to look at Kiwi yen and Aussie yen and pound yen and CAD yen, might as well look at all the yens. Let's jump over here under our yen pairs. Let's take a look. So Aussie yen coming through, bias of bearish, bias of bearish. CAD yen sell, Euro yen sell, pound yen sell, Kiwi yen sell. Groovy. Okay, let's go through our yen pairs. So Aussie yen, taking a look at the daily time frame, still at the bottom of the range. We can't sell there. Okay, you're not going to buy though because fundamentally bearish. CAD yen, bottom of the range. You're not going to sell there. You're not going to buy though, fundamentally bearish. Euro yen, middle of the range. You're not going to buy there because fundamentally bearish. Pound yen, also middle of the range. You're not going to buy there because fundamentally bearish. Unfortunately, you have to leave your yen pairs alone. Let's move on. That's our yen pairs. Okay, dollar pairs. Right. Well, we've had a look at the $1. Let's take a look at the rest of the dollars. So we looked at USD CAD. So euro dollar coming through with a bias of bearish. Pound dollar coming through the bias of bearish. USD CAD coming through the bias of bullish. We already looked at one just now. Aussie USD coming through the bias of bearish. Kiwi dollar coming through the bias of bearish. Let's take a look. Aussie USD, first and foremost. You're currently at a daily 21 EMA. Okay, now we've been speaking about the opportunity here, right? Now you can see the problem with this is that your daily is saying I'm at resistance at a 21 EMA. I don't like this higher low over here. Your H4 is currently sitting at support. Okay. Now what you can do is you can see that we've now currently sitting the support, but you've also got this range over here as well. Okay. If you're looking for a sell and you are currently in position for a weekly sell, looking for lower lows, lower highs on M15. Okay. Now you can see currently price is below the 21 EMA. You've got this resistance over here. All right. All you need to do now is just go down the line. So you've got bearish 15, M5. You got price at resistance, M5. M1, you got bullish. So now you can see the one time frame you've got to wait for is the M1. You're waiting for lower lows, lower highs in this time frame. It doesn't present itself, you don't take the trade. Realizing, of course, that you're currently at support. So I mean, I'd much rather be at resistance at H4. So I would technically look at this and say, I'm at resistance daily. I'm not at resistance H4. Don't look at lower time frames. But you do you, baby. Let's take a look and see here. That's Aussie USD. Moving along to the next one, Euro dollar. Currently up here. Odd place to be. Let's take a look at the H4. Okay. M15. Oh. So price comes down, price breaks up, closes at this resistance left-hand side and continues going up. Okay, that's a concern. Looking at the M5, also same thing. Look how it doesn't come off the 21 EMA. M1, price is currently bullish. You can see how the time frames tell you what's going on, friends. Okay, so I'm going to leave that alone as well. It's being this disciplined that is going to lead you to winning trades, right? So pound dollar currently above there. You got resistance left-hand side. Okay, H4. Okay, profit taking zone. Structure doesn't look very bearish to me. M15. You can see here price breaking down, pulling back to resistance. Again, on the H4, I'm not currently at resistance. Price has currently come down. Okay, but if there's a continuation of bearishness here, you should see a continuation of bearishness here. You have got a $21.55 over here. Okay, cool. So if that is bearish, your M5 should be presenting the same thing. And your M1 should be presenting the same thing. You can see the M1 is currently sideways, looking for a lower low, lower high. But you want to see bearishness across the board. Okay, what's interesting is that look how price came up to the 5-minute 21 and failed to make a lower low. Okay, it could still happen. Okay, you are currently at the M15, but you'd like to see do that happening on M1 as well. Okay. But you can see like you got this resistance here, but nothing really on the H4 time frame. Okay. If it's bearish, you'll see it in lower time frames. Okay. Cool. Pound dollar. Let's go. Kiwi dollar. You can see there. Okay. So coming into the range, very narrow range. Price coming down. I can sell down here, selling up there better. Let's look at the M15. Have we had any lower lows, lower highs yet? Let's get rid of these indicators. Not really, hey. Sort of over there yesterday, but what was your indication? No real resistance. Strange one, hey? I look at that and I'm like, I don't like that consolidation. I'm very fussy when it comes to trades, friends. You probably noticed that. I know it's irritating, but it's capital preservation, right? You wouldn't buy a car that has no wheels. Somebody might say, well, like, you're being very fussy about the cars that you buy. Do they really have to have wheels? Like, yeah, it's kind of a prerequisite if you want the car to go anywhere. Okay, so we've looked at the dollars, looked at the yens. All right, here's a Swissy. Let's look at the Swissies across the board. Swissies coming across Euro Swissy. We got ourselves a bias of neutral. We've got pound Swissy comes with a bias of neutral. Aussie Swissy, bias of neutral. Kiwi Swissy, bias of neutral. CAD Swissy, bias of neutral. Oh, so why is this coming up? Sell CAD Swissy, but over here, CAD Swissy. Did I miss CAD Swissy? Neutral. Interesting. Okay, cool. That's interesting. So Aussie Kiwi over here. Let's take a look. Aussie Kiwi coming through the sell. Let's take a look at our Aussie Kiwi. Aussie Kiwi. Sell. Not great, hey? Not currently at resistance yet. Broken back into a profit-taking zone. I'm going to leave that alone. Let's continue. So if we've got Aussie Kiwi, let's look at the rest of our crosses. How about Aussie Kiwi? How about Aussie CAD? Aussie CAD, neutral. Kiwi CAD? Neutral. Let's look at Aussie Kiwi. Kiwi CAD. Let's look at Aussie CAD. Where's Aussie CAD? Neutral. Okay. Aussie Kiwi, Aussie CAD, Kiwi CAD, all neutral. Okay. And we looked at Aussie USD. So we've kind of had a gander at everything. Okay. And you can see here, everything else is very much neutral. All right. Well, there are a few pairs I've mentioned today that you want to pay attention to. Okay. Currency pairs that are currently sitting at resistance. Well, the only one that I'm really interested in right now out of all of that would be Aussie USD. But I'm aware of the fact that 4 hours we're at support. Daily we're at resistance. And everything else. If M15 is saying bearish, M5 not kind of. We could break below the 21 EMA, but your M1 over here is where it's at. But I don't like the fact that on H4 I don't have price at resistance. This candle here is not at resistance. Why would I sell at support on a 4-hour time frame because it's bearish on a lower time frame? Why would I do that? It makes no sense. I think patience is in order, friends. So I'm going to sit back and watch. What I'll do is I'll come back in my own personal trading. I'll come back at New York, have a gander at the market heat map, see what's currently up, see what's currently down, match that with fundamental bias, match that with technical bias, and see if there are any opportunities. I'm not in a rush, though. Everything has to match up perfectly, you know? Like the car mustn't just have wheels, also has to have seats and a steering wheel and a roof and not have rust, and all those things must check out. So you got to make sure each of your time frame says this is bullish or this is bearish. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem. If you ignore any of that, well, then you're just going to lose. Highly likely, right? So that means it requires discipline and patience, and that way you stay liquid. Sounds like a plan. Have an amazing day. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, excuse me.